Deltarune Chapter 3 is fast approaching. Or is it? We don't really know when the next chapters of Deltarune are releasing, but over the last 2 years, Toby Fox has released some sneak previews of what's next to come. In this video, I found all the information that going onto the second page of Google can find to show you all that we know about the next adventure of Chris, Susie, and Ralsei. Enjoy the video. The Green Room was first revealed in the Deltarune status update in September of 2022. The existence of the Green Room somewhat confirms that the next Dark World will be taking place within the Dreamers TV, as speculated by many fans. Also, real quick, was I the only one that thought it wouldn't be the TV but rather the whole living room? Anyway, along with this image of the Green Room, we were also given the song that would play when you're in the Green Room, called Green Room. The most interesting thing about the Green Room song is that it uses the motif of hip shop, rules the shop theme, but it's somehow more lo-fi hip hop. I don't know how we can get like a more chill sounding theme than hip shop, but somehow Toby Fox impresses us as always. The Green Room image was also used during the Spamton sweepstakes event, where you would click on 3 doors in the Green Room. The door to the left would show 2 new characters called the Weather or the Weatherman, indicated by the text when clicking on them. These guys could be major or minor characters, perhaps even enemies, but most likely something like the Queen. We don't know, all we know is that their name is the Weather. And that they always stick together. Clicking on the room with the star on the door reveals a Shadow Man in a changing room putting socks on. If you click on the Shadow Man, you see this clip of Chapter 3 or 4 gameplay. This shows off a new act for Chris, Susie and Ralsei, where they shoot hearts at the Shadow Man's socks, knocking them off to get 100% spare ability. Is that a word? As well as some Mafia-inspired costumes they put on for the act. We then see 2 attacks that the Shadowman can do, one that has them playing the saxophone with the starved path, which is the lines on sheet music, with the notes going along the path that deals damage to the player, while the other attack is one of the Shadowmen shooting a gun with the bullets doing damage. The final path in the sweepstakes interactable Green Room is the door to the right, which takes you a picture of the TV in the Dreamer's house, with the preview text to the website being someone talking indicated by the asterisk that's on it, saying that it's off. There's no way to turn it on as seen in the source code of the website, so it's just the image of the TV. Besides the Green Room and 2 audio files, all of the images shown on the Deltarune Chapters 3 to 5 status update in September have CH4 in their file name as a prefix, meaning that the Green Room is probably in Chapter 3 if that wasn't clear by the ending of Chapter 2. The first 2 images of our Chris and Susie in Hometown eating in the diner, throwing rocks around and looking at this little dude's dance, all of which is labelled with Chapter 4 on the file name. I'll assume that Homeday Town is exclusively used in Chapter 4 as well, as it seems that Chapter 4 is going to be either a more open-ended chapter where you explore a lot of Hometown before going into the Dark World, or you don't explore the Dark World at all and it's a fully Hometown chapter. Under all this new Light World content, we also have a preview of what's going to be in the Dark World. Just a reminder that all this has the prefix of Chapter 4, so we probably won't be seeing it in Chapter 3. The first piece of Dark World content is a funk version of My Castle Town called My Funky Town, presumably used in this sequence below with Task Manager, KK, Sweet, and one of the Shadowmen playing the song. A quote from an unknown character is placed with the audio of My Funky Castle that reads, "This once empty town is beginning to feel like a city." And the text below this GIF reads, "If you recruited the right characters, the band can play a new background music for your town." Below that is a video introducing Queen's room and showing her sipping battery acid while listening to a mixtape. text below this video reads, "More characters finally get their own rooms," which means that many more characters that have a major part in the game, like the Queen, receive their own room. By the way, only 1.1% of people who watch my videos subscribe. I make videos based off of indie games like Undertale, Deltarune, Mori, and One Shot, so if you like those games, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers this year, and it'd be really cool if you could make that red button great to help achieve this. And if not, enjoy watching the video, there's still a lot more to come. Thank you. Spamton Sweepstakes was a charity event based on Deltarune and specifically Spamton that would donate to the Child's Play charity through donations. When people donated, it would unlock several prizes, and these prizes hid content within them, such as I mentioned earlier, the green room. This was actually shown in one of the prizes. On the Spamton toilet paper, there is a URL that reads bluebubble.rodeo. Blue bubble referencing the Pippus, and rodeo representing this, an image of Chris and Susie in cowboy outfits, presumably to be used in an act or a scene in the game. The website preview reads, "Get ready for 2 minutes of mildly entertaining shootout action," and clicking on the sprite plays a whip noise. On the Spamton 3D Celebrity Photo Cube, there's a link in the description that takes you to a website of Susie lying down with her eyes closed, and clicking on her makes her blink randomly. This video from the Undertale Lost Content Archive suggests that the sprite could be used for the green room couches, and I believe so too, to be honest, as Susie was sleeping before we opened the fountain, so it would make sense if she woke up on this couch sleeping. Yes, by the way, I know this channel's fake, they just did a really great job with this edit, so shout out to them. In the files of Chapter 2, there exists a sprite and variable relating to Chapter 3, this being the sprite called SPR Chapter 3 Parallax T Dark 0, and the string with the same name, which authors on the cutting room floor, which if you don't know is basically like a wiki for lost content in games, have assumed that it would be used in an animation in the Dark World. Throughout 2022, Toby Fox has tweeted concept art for Deltarune. In February of 2022, he tweeted out some concept art and didn't specify which chapter. This art features a hug from Ralsei and Susie, which could be from this scene in Chapter 2 or a later scene in the game. Chris making chocolate milk, and Susie and Noelle playing on Noelle's handheld gaming device, as seen in the hospital at the end of Chapter 2. In May of 2022, Toby Fox tweeted more concept art, this one featuring Ralsei and Chris or Susie on the other side of a wall to each other. I assume it's Susie due to the eyes, but it could be Chris due to the hair. 2 frames for Caddy drinking milk off of a high surface, which could possibly be used in Chapter 4 in the diner scene. Noelle sitting down looking polite, and Susie getting punched from a bowl. So that's all we know about the future of Deltarune. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this for me, and I honestly hope you were just as excited as me for the future of Deltarune. I love this game a lot, and I honestly cannot wait to see where it goes. Hope you have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.